At the start of the story, there's a kid named Hugo who is examining tiny bugs with his magnifying glass in the forest. Suddenly, his pet dog begins to bark at something ahead, trying to alert Hugo. Despite Hugo's attempts to quiet his dog, it keeps barking. Then, something strange happens. Hugo's magnifying glass spins on its own, and the dry leaves nearby lift off the ground. In a moment, Hugo vanishes, and his pet shrinks into a puppy. The story then fast-forwards 10 years to 2021. We meet 4 friends at a school: Sam, Victor, Bilal, and Romain. They are taking a group photo with their classmates. During the photo, it's clear from Bilal's gaze towards Romain that he has feelings for her. After the picture, as they leave school, Victor, the youngest, shares with the others that he failed his 8th grade exams and has to repeat the year. Victor sounds unhappy about this and his life in general. The 4 friends decide to go to the forest to celebrate Bilal's birthday and head home to get ready for the celebration. Romain heads to the grocery store where her mom works. There, her mom, Vanessa, asks her to pick up her younger sister, Camilla, from school because she's swamped with work. Romain agrees, bids her mom farewell, and then goes to fetch Camilla. When they get back home, they find their dad, Harv, there. Camilla isn't pleased to see him because Harv has a gambling problem and had left the family for a long time. Then we see Sam and Victor in their room. Sam is Victor's older brother. Sam reveals to Victor that he plans to propose to Romain that night. Victor is thrilled by the news and tells Sam that Romain really likes him too. Then, their parents come back home. It's clear they are wealthy. They tell Victor that his grades aren't good, so they've decided to hire a tutor for him, indicating they are quite strict. Meanwhile, Bilal is studying at his home. We see his mom, Sophia, who is a scientist. Sophia receives a call from her research center, so she tells Bilal to have his meal and leaves for work. Bilal then meets his friends in the forest as planned. They find a bunker and decide to celebrate Bilal's birthday there. During the celebration, Sam and Romain start to get closer and are just about to kiss when suddenly the lights go out. In the darkness, Sam is shocked to see Romain transform into a little girl. Then she transforms into an old woman. Then, to Sam's horror, Bilal, Victor, and Romain vanish into thin air. Suddenly, a large man resembling Bilal appears, but Sam, failing to recognize him and overcome with fear, runs away. After Sam's departure, Bilal experiences a severe headache and upon looking in the mirror, discovers he has aged. Hearing police outside the bunker, Bilal flees in panic. The scene shifts to Sophia, who is at her research center working on a project named Hydronic Calorimeter. After finishing her work at the research center, Sophia is on her way out when she receives a call from the police. They inform her that Bilal and his friends have gone missing and ask her to bring a photo of Bilal to the police station. As Sophia gets into her car and starts it, she discovers Bilal hiding inside. Bilal tries to explain that during his birthday celebration, the lights suddenly went out, and then Victor and Romain disappeared, and he somehow aged rapidly. However, Sophia doesn't believe him and starts honking the car's horn to attract attention while locking the doors. Hearing the noise, the security guards come over. Bilal breaks the car window to escape and runs off. In the next scene, Sam is at the police station with his parents. A police officer approaches him to get a description of the man Sam saw the previous night in the bunker. Sam begins to describe the man's face. Meanwhile, Bilal sneaks into his house and hides in the basement. The next morning, Bilal goes to Sam's house to convince him that he is indeed Bilal. To prove his identity, Bilal mentions a burn mark on Sam's chest that Sam got because of Victor. Hearing this, Sam is convinced that the person before him is Bilal. As they sit down to talk, Sam notices a ring on Bilal's finger, engraved with the year 2021. When asked about it, Bilal admits he can't remember anything related to the ring. This hints that Bilal has traveled through time, but for some reason has lost his memories of the future. The story then takes us back 9 hours, showing us the moment when the lights went out during the birthday celebration. At that moment, Sam and Bilal vanish, leaving Romain and Victor behind, indicating that Sam and Bilal have ended up in a different reality, while Romain and Victor are in another. Now at the night of their disappearance, Sophia is at the research center, where she and her team are working on Experiment Hydronic Calorimeter. However, something goes wrong, and the entire city's electricity is cut off. Coincidentally, it's at this moment, back at the bunker during the birthday celebration, that Victor, Romain, and Bilal suddenly disappear. This suggests that their disappearance is somehow linked to the Hydronic Calorimeter experiment. Back in the bunker, Romain and Victor find themselves waiting. Romain tries calling Sam but gets no answer, leaving them to spend the entire night in anticipation. Come morning, Victor heads home, looking for Sam, but finds no sign of him. Their search extends to Bilal's house, which also turns up empty. Concerned, they inform their parents of Sam and Bilal's mysterious disappearance and proceed to the police station to report what has happened. In a different reality, Sam and Bilal navigate their way out of the jungle. Sam is intent on taking Bilal to his grandparents' old house for safety. During their journey, Bilal suffers a sudden headache and experiences a vision of a little girl calling him Daddy. Once they arrive at the grandparents' house, they realize there's no food available. Bilal decides to take matters into his own hands by fishing for their meals. He also advises Sam to mislead the police by providing a false description of him, should they inquire. Following this plan, when the police question Sam about the individual he saw in the bunker, Sam describes an entirely different person. The police, puzzled by the conflicting accounts, question the change in description. Sam explains that his initial claim was affected by fear and confusion. After Sam's visit, Detective Red decides to investigate Sophia's car, where he discovers fingerprints on the car window, which he suspects belong to Bilal. Meanwhile, Sam's parents reveal their plans to send Victor to a boarding school, speculating that this could be the reason he ran away from home. Following this, Sophia visits Sam and takes him to the bunker. There, she shares her suspicion that the man in her car the previous night was indeed Bilal. Detective Red, who arrived at the bunker to investigate, informs Sophia that the city's power outage occurred at 11:23 the previous night, and they disappeared at around same time. This revelation triggers Sophia's realization that her experiment had malfunctioned precisely at that time. Rushing to check the experimental equipment, she finds it completely destroyed, confirming her fears. In the parallel reality, Victor is at home, brooding over his parents' harsh words. They had accused him of always joking around, and suggested that Sam's disappearance was his fault. Angered and hurt by these accusations, Victor storms out. In his wake, a plant suddenly withers and dies, hinting at Victor possessing some form of supernatural power, possibly triggered by his emotional state. Bilal shares with Sam a vision he had about his future family, where he sees his wife and 2 children celebrating his birthday. This leads him to speculate that, just as he has glimpsed his future, Victor and Romain might have also been teleported into their own futures. Sam then recounts the story of a boy named Hugo, who vanished under mysterious circumstances years ago, with his pet transforming into a puppy as a result. Connecting these dots, they suspect that the disappearances of Victor and Romain are somehow linked to Hugo's case. To investigate further, Bilal devises a plan to visit Hugo's house under the guise of a reporter, while Sam is to sneak in through the back and search for any clues. Meanwhile, the investigation into the fingerprints found on Sophia's car reveals that they belong to a man about 6 feet tall, matching Bilal's prints. This revelation is puzzling, raising questions about Bilal's disappearance, his sudden growth in his age, and how his fingerprints ended up on Sophia's car if he is missing. Meanwhile, Romain's mother, Vanessa, is dealing with her own challenges. She visits a cardiologist for her heart condition. Vanessa then messages Harv, requesting to pick up Camilla from school, but he forgets to do so because he was playing online poker. Realizing that he is late, he rushes to the school in his car, only to learn that Camilla has already left. On way home, Romain finds Camilla walking alone and picks her up. Meanwhile, Bilal, posing as a reporter, visits Hugo's house to inquire about his disappearance from Hugo's father. At the same time, Sam sneaks in through the back door, finding and taking some information and a photograph related to Hugo's disappearance spot. When Bilal and Sam investigate the location shown in the photograph, they discover it's the same bunker where Victor and Romain vanished. The story shifts to a parallel reality, 4 years later, where Victor has been sent to boarding school. There, he faces bullying and ridicule from his classmates. Romain, now working in a grocery store, returns home after work to spend time with her mother and sister. However, their moment is interrupted by thugs demanding repayment of a debt from Harv. After the thugs leave, Vanessa refuses to let Harv sell the house to settle the debt, insisting instead that he should leave. Tragically, Vanessa suffers a heart attack and passes away. Following Vanessa's funeral, Harv tells Romain that he decided to sell the house and plans to move to Canada with Camilla. Hearing this, Romain insists that she won't let Camilla leave with anyone else. Harv responds by asserting that he is Camilla's father, and Romain can't prevent him from taking her. Meanwhile, during Victor's school break, his father picks him up to go home. On their way, they encounter a group of people protesting against a certain experiment, arguing that the radiation it emits is harmful to the public. Once home, Victor starts looking up information about the experiment on his phone. He discovers that each time the experiment is conducted, someone mysteriously disappears. He finds out that on the night Sam and Bilal went missing, the experiment was being performed. Armed with this information, Victor meets with Romain to share his findings. They decide to investigate the bunker where the experiment takes place at night. Victor tells Romain to expect another experiment in 5 seconds, but when nothing happens, Romain becomes anxious and decides to leave. As they exit the bunker, they are greeted by a police crime scene with a "do not enter" warning, leading them to realize they've entered an alternate reality. In this new reality, Victor and Romain discover they are the ones missing. When Romain visits her home and finds her mother alive, she becomes very emotional. However, Victor advises her against meeting her mother, explaining that Romaine is now 4 years older and her mother might not recognize her. They then proceed to Victor's house, where they are surprised to see Sam. Victor is flooded with memories of his parents reprimanding him as a child, which makes him upset, and he decides to leave. On his way, he recalls an incident from his childhood when he burned Sam on his chest by mistake, requiring hospitalization. Romaine follows Victor, insisting that they cannot simply walk away from their situation and need help to resolve it. They decide to seek help from Sophia, to whom they reveal their true identities. Sophia recalls an encounter with a man claiming to be Bilal from the future, who had also mentioned coming back in time. Their conversation is interrupted by the arrival of Red, prompting Sophia to quickly hide Victor and Romaine in her house. Red inquires about the man Sophia was seen with, who had called her Mom the previous day. Sophia suggests that the man was probably frightened, which is why he referred to her as his mother. After Red leaves, Sophia informs them that he has acquired Bilal's fingerprints. She explains the urgency of finding Bilal before Red does. Surprisingly, Bilal arrives at Sophia's house with Sam shortly after. Sophia introduces him to Romaine and Victor. Bilal then asks Sophia to initiate the experiment again to return everyone to their correct timeline. Sophia agrees to it. Subsequently, they visit Sam's grandparents' house. Sam mentions he can't stay long and leaves with Sophia for an urgent task, leaving Bilal and Victor alone. During their conversation, Bilal inquires about Victor's future. Victor shares how the next 4 years were challenging, with people blaming him for the disappearances of Bilal and Sam. His frustration grows, causing a nearby table to rot rapidly, startling Bilal. Victor explains that since the bunker incident, he might have developed a supernatural ability to age things. Meanwhile, Romaine visits a grocery store and encounters Vanessa. She tells Vanessa about her identity and warns her about a future heart attack. She tells her to stay away from Harv. Hearing this, Vanessa starts getting heart attack, prompting Romaine to scream for help. Suddenly, time around her freezes, revealing Romaine's newfound supernatural ability to stop time. Once Romaine assists Vanessa, time resumes its normal course. Meanwhile, Red is reviewing CCTV footage from the grocery store, having been alerted by Romaine's emergency call in which Romaine referred to Vanessa as her mother needing help. This leads Red to suspect that Romaine is not missing. Red visits the hospital and asks Harv if the voice belongs to Romaine. He responds that the voice sounds like that of a 25-year-old girl. Red leaves his business card, asking to be informed about any leads on Romaine. He also notices a distinctive tattoo mark on the hand of Harv. In the next scene, Romaine is back home, sharing the grocery store incident with Bilal and Sam. She mentions that, when Harv will go to gamble at night, she will bring Camilla with her. Motivated by Romaine's determination, her friends agree to assist her. However, when they sneak into the house at night to fetch Camilla, she does not recognize Romaine, and frightened, hides in her room. Romaine tries to reassure Camilla that she is her older sister, but their reunion is interrupted when Harv returns home after forgetting his money. Sam and Bilal confront Harv, but he overpowers them. In the midst of the chaos, Harv throws a pencil holder at Romaine, who uses her power to freeze time and retaliate with the same object. However, Harv is barely affected and starts to choke Romaine. At that moment, Victor intervenes, using his ability to age things rapidly on Harv, saving Romaine. Now, they take Camilla to their hideout. Sam confronts Victor, upset that he wasn't informed about Victor's supernatural ability. Victor retorts, pointing out that he saved Romaine's life, which only angers Sam further. Sam blames Victor's abilities for the potential harm they could cause, reminding him of a past mistake that left a burn scar on Victor's chest. This heated exchange leads Victor to storm out of the house, fueled by anger. Meanwhile, Sophia is seen investigating the magnetic field around the bunker, discovering it to be exceptionally strong. Then in a vision, Bilal sees a future where Romaine is his wife, which fills him with joy. When he shares this vision with Romaine, she laughs, making the moment even more special as she begins to demonstrate her supernatural abilities. Bilal, curious about why he hasn't received any supernatural powers despite his time travel, is playfully reminded by Romaine that having her as a wife in the future should be enough for him. Sam, overhearing their conversation, decides to leave the scene. Romaine then approaches Sam, expressing that she will always remember him as her first boyfriend. Meanwhile, Red, seeking information on the next experimental test, contacts Sophia's research center. He's aware that each test results in someone disappearing and is keen on understanding more. Sophia, informed by her boss about the upcoming test, decides to conduct her own experiment with 3 chickens in the bunker. After the test, she discovers that 1 chicken has managed to travel through time, while the other 2 have perished. Alongside the chickens, she finds a USB stick, suggesting that someone from the future is trying to help her. Upon returning home and examining the contents of the USB on her laptop, Sophia realizes the information has indeed been sent from the future. Moreover, she notices Red in the background, implying that Red will eventually learn about this information as well. In the video, the future version of Sophia explains that Bilal traveled from the future to their reality to stop a crucial issue. She said something happened to Sam that aged him rapidly, but his friend didn't tell her how that happened. They tried to send him back in time, but unfortunately, Sam had already aged significantly before, leading to his death upon returning to his original form. The future Sophia reveals that Bilal's has again traveled back in time to their reality to prevent the incident to happen. However, Bilal's memory is lost due to some reasons. Sophia then visits their hideout, seeking information. She questions whether they are keeping any information from her. Upon learning about Victor's power to age things or people backward, she explains the concept of the Earth's magnetic field, which has been intensified by the experiments, resulting in the creation of alternate realities or parallel worlds. These worlds, she clarifies, are distinct and do not intersect. In Romaine's reality, only she and Victor remained in the bunker, whereas in Sam's reality, only Bilal and Romaine and Victor were absent. In Bilal's reality, only he and Romaine were left in the bunker. Sophia reveals that her future self had informed her about these events, though she omits any mention of Sam's death to avoid alarming everyone. Red arrives during their discussion, and Sophia shares the truth with him, persuading him to assist in their efforts. Sophia and Red decide to temporarily jail Sam to prevent him from quick aging again. Meanwhile, Romaine returns Camilla to the hospital near Vanessa, and subsequently, Sophia arranges for Bilal to see a neurosurgeon. The neurosurgeon uses magnetic induction to restore Bilal's memories. Through this process, Bilal recalls that following the test experiment, he and Romaine were the sole survivors in the bunker from his reality. As time progressed, their relationship deepened, eventually leading to marriage. After completing his education, Bilal joined his mother Sophia's company. It was during that time he discovered his ability to travel back in time. The neurosurgeon halts the treatment, fearing adverse effects on his mental health. Meanwhile, Victor is seen outside his house, watching his parents with a mix of anger and frustration. Romaine finds him and shares that Sophia plans to send them back to their original reality, hopeful that this will resolve their problems. Victor, however, expresses doubt and anger, questioning the purpose of returning to a reality where he feels neglected and unvalued. In the following scene, Sophia, determined to fix the machine's malfunction that previously resulted in the death of 2 chickens, brings Bilal to her company. She wants to ensure that no harm comes to Bilal or his friends, as it did to the chickens. Upon entering the company, Bilal is flooded with memories of his time working there. Using his expertise, he successfully addresses the machine's issues, after which they return home. Back at home, they focus on analyzing the data from the USB stick, hoping it will help them rectify the remaining flaws in the machine. Meanwhile, Red is on the hunt for Victor, but during his search, Victor heads to the police station. There, he finds Sam and informs him that the rest of their group is waiting at the bunker. Convincing Sam of the urgency, Victor takes him along. In the following scene, Sophia uploads the data Bilal sent to the machine at her office and informs him via message that this will be the company's final test, with no further experiments planned. This news leaves Bilal anxious, leading him to take some tablets, a move that triggers additional visions. In these visions, Bilal sees how he was not able to save Sam because Victor used his power on Sam. Bilal shares this revelation with Romaine, who mentions she had already discussed Sam's situation with Victor. Meanwhile, Victor has taken Sam to the same location and uses Sam's phone to call his parents, urging them to come over immediately. When Sam's parents arrive, Victor confronts them harshly, accusing them of neglect. His mother says it's all misunderstanding, and they never favored only Sam. The tension escalates with the arrival of Red, Bilal, and Romaine. Victor's anger peaks at the sight of everyone gathered, but Bilal intervenes, sharing his past experiences and the consequences of Victor's anger. Realizing the gravity of his actions and overwhelmed by guilt, Victor uses his power on himself, rapidly aging as a form of self-punishment. After this act, Victor attempts to leave the scene. Romaine uses her power to freeze time, preventing Victor from leaving. She approaches him and offers a comforting hug, which begins to ease his feelings of guilt. Sam and Bilal join in, embracing Victor, and to their surprise, Victor's appearance reverses to his younger self. This transformation suggests that while Victor's anger has the power to age things, his experiences of love and forgiveness can restore youthfulness. Following this heartwarming moment, the group, now united, rides in Red's car to the bunker, where Sophia is already waiting for them. Together, they enter the bunker, and as the experiment commences, they are transported back to their original reality when Sam kisses Romaine, with Bilal witnessing the scene, signifying their return to a familiar yet changed world. The next morning, Sam's parents discuss sending Victor to boarding school. Overhearing this, Sam intervenes. He declares his intention to accompany Victor to boarding school if necessary, refusing to let him face the challenges alone. Touched by Sam's words and protective stance, his parents come to a realization of their harshness. They promise Sam that they will change their approach about Victor in the future. Then Bilal finds a USB stick in his pocket, which he then hands over to Sophia. Upon playing the content, Sophia discovers a message from her future self. The message reassures them that the bunker's issues have been resolved. Additionally, future Sophia hints that Red might become a significant figure in her life, possibly even her boyfriend, in the future. Shortly after, Sam, Victor, and Romain join them, with Bilal opening birthday presents. This series concludes on a hopeful note, showing the importance of friendship. I hope you found this video enjoyable. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, as you can see only 2.5% people who watch subscribe my channel. Thank you.